What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be fumbling around with the Z. About a couple months back, my window motor took a completely. And it's actually a fairly common issue that happens in these cars, especially the G35 and the 370Z. Both window motors tend to take a after a certain amount of time. Fortunately, mine actually just ended up taking a crap not too long ago. And it's funny because I've had the car for over a decade and it's got over 200,000 miles. And it just so happened to survive the typical breaking point. And the fact that it lasted this long is actually nothing short of amazing. So we're gonna go over a couple of the steps that it takes to go ahead and replace my motor. Nissan just happens to not make those very well for this car because it's always like one of the first things to go out. Normally I wouldn't care about this thing because the window does go up and down as long as I whack it pretty good with something. I usually have my Nerf football in there, one with the tail, and I can usually just grab it and hit like the side of the door panel. But it was kind of ghetto and when like someone was trying to get my attention and I'd have to, you know, it kind of looked like I was jerking off to get the window down. It just didn't look right, especially since I do have limo tint. So if driving at nighttime, you know, it's really bad, especially in Florida. A lot of pedestrians, they just like wearing all black all the time, and I can't see shit for most of the time. So I figured I'd try to get that little issue out of the way, squared away, because it's just a major inconvenience. And not only that, but right now it's like the perfect weather season for Florida. It's always between like the December and the February range. You know, temperatures are like around the 60s and 70s. And you know, it's totally like window down type of weather. I don't want to just be driving around with one window down. So before we get the ball really rolling, I just wanted to show you guys this part. This is an eBay part. I got it for like, I don't know, not even like 30, I think it was like 30 bucks and shipping was free. So I got this like no name, well, I don't know, I don't think it's completely no name. Okay, Prime Choice. Oh, I guess this one's made in China. And the stupid thing about this part is, random fun fact, this is actually my second like window motor that I bought, because I actually bought a first one from a while ago from Amazon and I magically somehow lost it somewhere in my car, or someone stole it. I think what happened was when I was at Cars and Coffee, I kind of had like the cardboard just sitting there between my seats. Some idiot must have like swiped it or something, because I swear I could not find that window motor anywhere. Like two things out of my car that's been stolen recently was that, and I actually had a newer magnet plate which was on the side of my car. It was a bigger 916 that said HP Logic. This one's kind of like falling apart and it's like all disgusting and like it's like flimsy and broken, and it leaves behind on my car. This magnet plate's actually used to cover the door ding that I have in my car. These $5 magnets are way cheaper than getting body work, but that's just between you and me and the 30 other people that are probably going to watch this video for the next 10 years. Alright, so before you guys start, you definitely want to get the window down. It makes the whole process a little bit more easier to do. And if your window can't go down, you're gonna have to find some sort of way to get that, to hold the window up, because when you take some of this off, there's a tendency that the thing might drop down, and you don't want that to happen because then your window will break. That's just as a precaution. So get the key in the on position. You don't really have to turn the engine on directly, but you try to control it. You can hear it click, but it's not gonna go down because the window's a pile of shit. While you're pressing the button down, you're gonna wanna kind of give it a whack like in this general area. You wanna use something safe because you don't wanna damage your door panel like what I did. I did this at nighttime. This happened one of the first nights that I discovered that my window motor was taking it. So you don't wanna do that because I hate looking to the right and seeing this bullshit all around. It looks like Wolverine or Freddy Krueger like stabbed their into my door panel. So what I'm using here is my little Milwaukee fuel wrench. Little nifty little tool, which will definitely speed up the process if you're doing stuff like this. Definitely recommend this tool. So the window's down. First things first, we gotta take this whole thing off. It's pretty simple. We're just gonna go behind some of the panels here, pop some of the stuff off. There should be screws that'll be revealed under some of the stuff that's hidden. We're gonna take those screws off, and then this will pop off. And then we'll see a couple of bolts that are surrounding here. Take that metal portion off. And then we'll see the exposed window motor and the regulator. That's the part that you want to be careful with if you are doing this with the window that's still up, because you don't know what will trip the window into dropping. It's really rare, but it happens. And you don't want to fork over the $30 plus the expenses of a brand new window. It's just not a good thing. So we're going to have to pry off the 3 squared trim piece over here. Just kind of like get your flat hand under. Now, if you are more cautious and you want to be more cautious, you can always use a cloth to pry with, but for me, I'm probably gonna end up getting a new door panel anyway because this whole thing's kind of up. Try to get that in a secure place. So behind that trim piece, you'll see Over here we got two 10mm screws. Want to get those out. You also want to pop this off. Tits. By the way, the previous owner installed all this ugly like silver trimming. This whole center dash was actually covered in the same type of silver trimming. I actually still have it right there in the center. That was all from the previous owner that owned this car from like 2005 to 2007. I got the car in 2007. I still need to replace that ugly ass center dash. As you can see, the center console is like caved in, disgusting and broken. Almost wants to make me throw myself down the stairs because of how shitty it looks right now. Alright guys, so once you remove that silver trimming piece, there's two 10mm screws that you're gonna get to. It's right here and right here on the top. So get that off, you can pop this handle off, and then this control panel will pop right off. Both the screws are out. You can go ahead and pull this guy off. So when you guys do pop this trim off, you're going to want to disconnect the control panel for the window motor and then go on from there. So following that part, you guys are going to go through a couple more screws to get the rest of the door panel off. That being this guy right here, this guy right here as well, and then there's this behind this trim piece, there's another screw they need. So there should be 3 more, I believe, to get off. So here's the fun part, getting this little trim piece off. Alright, so to access it again, just lift the door release, and then try to jimmy your little flat in there somehow. Kind of like wiggle it in. It'll be on a couple of clips. So you're going to get that screw right there. Once you get that guy out, you should be able to take off the door panel. There's going to be a couple mounting clips around. Just be careful not to go too harsh on it. So while the door panel is free and off the door, you actually have 2 points which are still connected, which you kind of want to remove because it helps out a lot. It's pretty much a locking mechanism. You basically still got to detach the locking mechanism, which is still attached to the door panel, in order to get this thing completely free from the door. Pretty simply, just pop the thing off. The little ball joint here at the end kind of like slides from that crevice out of there. Same goes for the secondary one. Just pop and then slide it out. You'll see there. So it goes in like that. Just go ahead and remove it. Damn, this thing is heavy as shit. You got all this fun stuff to remove in order to get this metal plating to get behind to the actual motor. So 10mm isn't the only other size that you'll need for your tools. You will also need access to a 12mm, which are just these 2 guys right here. And everything else is pretty much a 10mm screw. Pretty straightforward. This right here, behind this area, is kind of where your motor sits. You can disconnect this piece. It's going to be coming out anyway. And other than that, just get those off and then we can pull this off. But of course, be careful just in case stuff does tend to fall out, because you never know what could be hiding behind the actual panel. And again, this is the part where the Milwaukee fuel really comes in handy. So the only time you'll need the 12mm size is getting the 2 bolts from here. You'll see the 2 gold protruding studs that come out from the door. After those guys are removed, you pretty much got the surrounding bolts that go on the outside, and then you'll be able to take this part off and then expose the actual window motor. You see how fast it was? It took like literally 4 seconds to take those screws out. You want to make sure that you did get 10 of those little dudes off. Should be 10, count them just to make sure. You might be missing one, but you can always tell because it just goes all the way around. So if this is your first time taking this part out, especially if it's a first failure for your window motor, it will seem a little difficult at first because there is that little adhesive sealant that goes around the perimeter. It will take a little bit of force, but you know, just use a little bit of man juice to get it off. Ha! Gay! This is so old. Holy crap.
1 hour later.
Alright, so once you guys get the actual window motor free, there's 3 little screws that are right there that surround the mount. Yep, that surround against the mounting plate. You want to unbolt those guys and then gently pull the window motor off, and then get your new actual unit and then mount that right back where it was. Just make sure it lines up correctly, or else you'll bolt everything back on, use the window, and nothing will work, and that'll just be a really time. Wouldn't it be a shitty time? It'll be a pretty shitty time. So here's the connector for the old one. You want to push it through this hole over here to get it through because the new motor already has one. So once you got all three of those screws out, and then you get your new motor, and then secure it just as it goes on the mounting bracket thing. And it only goes one way, so you really can't fuck this up. Before you button everything back in, guys, make sure you connect the controller. If you don't want to control this one, you can always use the driver's side. Just make sure everything goes up and down. So the tricky part of getting this mounted is getting the two bottom track bolts to match up evenly with the metal door panel. So this is the part where having a second set of hands actually helps out tremendously.
Just not grabbing.
Golden bolts. So once you get the thing mounted to the track the proper way, I'm not even gonna put this part in the video because
I wouldn't, because look what's missing.
Oh my god. So once you guys got everything mounted, just match the bottom of the push pins to the cording holes. A couple of good hits, make sure it's secure. You don't want that thing falling off when you reinstall the door panel. Pretty much. Hopefully, guys, this video was able to help you out resolve your window issues. If you have any further questions, or if you did like this video, if it did help you out, please drop a like. And if you got any further questions, please leave in the comments below. Subscribe for more random and useless content. And other than that, be safe, be good. We'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Peace.